Good morning, students. In today's discussion, we are going to learn a state diagram, delayed fluorescence, and types of delayed fluorescence. So, state diagram, which you already have learned, Jablonski diagram, the same thing with some statistical information we are going to learn, that is called a state diagram. The information such as energies, lifetime, and populations of singlet S1, triplet T1 state, it is used to construct Jablonski type state diagram for a molecule. This diagram will help to predict the photochemical behavior of molecule, and already we have learned this Jablonski diagram in earlier session. So let us discuss a state diagram by considering acetyl as an example. The energy difference between a ground singlet state S0 and first excited state S1 is obtained from band in an absorption and fluorescence. The energy difference between triplet state T1 and ground state S0 is obtained from blue edge of phosphorescence spectrum. Biacetyl is an interesting molecule whose fluorescence is observed even at room temperature in aqueous solution. The state diagram of biacetyl, energy of singlet state ES1 is 259.6 kJ per mole, as you can see in the diagram. The triplet state ET1 is 234.4 kJ per mole. The singlet is either pi to pi star or N to pi star state, which depends on a solvent effect. A blue shift in a polar solvent suggests N pi star state, that is non-bonding to pi antibonding state, and the red shift suggests pi pi star state, that is pi bonding and pi antibonding state. The radiation lifetime for fluorescence is of order 10 raised to minus 5 seconds. It includes that lowest excited singlet state S1, which is due to N to pi star transition. The value of phi f, that is quantum yield of fluorescence, indicated that only 1% of initially excited molecules are capable of emission with a rate constant of 1 into 10 raised to 5 per second. Since this follows first order, this rate constant is inversely proportional to half-life, and that is the reason why this rate constant value 1 into 10 raised to 5 per second is equal to 1 upon half-life period of fluorescence, which is 1 upon TF0. And the remaining, so during this, as we discussed, just 1% initially excited molecules undergoing fluorescence, and the remaining 99% molecules get transferred to a triplet state. Here we assumed that the transition of S1 to S0, which do not takes place. Actually it involves vibrational transition. The rate constant for this intersystem crossing KISC is 2 into 10 raised to 7 per second, and we already have seen intersystem crossing will be taking more time, so K, that is rate constant of intersystem crossing, is 2 into 10 raised to 7 per second. Vibrational relaxation is a very fast process whose rate constant value is 10 raised to 13 per second. So after that transition, that is 99% molecule get transferred to triplet. Out of that, 25% of the molecule undergoes phosphorescence emission with a quantum yield of phi p equal to 0.25 with the rate constant values 1.2 into 10 raised to 2 per second. The rest 75% decay non-radiative by reverse intersystem crossing, denoted by KISC T. It is a reverse intersystem crossing representation whose rate constant value is 3.7 into 10 raised to 2 per second. In this state diagram, we are going to use some standard representation. Wherever we use a phi indicates quantum yield, tau indicates lifetime, etc. So let us see these notations. T naught F indicates intrinsic radiation lifetime. Phi naught F indicates intrinsic fluorescence quantum yield. Tau F indicates actual radiative lifetime, which is equal to phi F into tau F naught. Phi P naught is quantum efficiency of phosphorescence emission at 77 Kelvin, and tau P naught is intrinsic lifetime of phosphorescence emission, which is equal to tau P in a bracket 1 minus phi F upon phi P. Tau P is lifetime measured from phosphorescence decay curve. Kf is rate constant of fluorescence emission, which is equal to 1 upon Tf naught. Kp is rate constant of phosphorescence emission. KISC is rate constant for intersystem crossing. KISC T is a rate constant for reverse intersystem crossing term, that is from T1 to S0. And these are respective equations what we get. This is a state diagram by considering biacetyl as an example. Now let us see what is meant by delayed fluorescence. See, already we have learned fluorescence, phosphorescence, and already we know fluorescence will occur quickly whenever there is an incident light, and phosphorescence will be observed even after stopping light of incidence. That means phosphorescence will occur little delayed. It takes more time compared to fluorescence. So there exists one more case, that is a fluorescence, but it takes more time compared to normal fluorescence, and these are called delayed fluorescence. So delayed fluorescence is when the long-lived delayed emission look like as a phosphorescence where spectra is coinciding exactly with the prompt fluorescence from the lowest singlet state. They differ only by their lifetime. This process is called delayed fluorescence. Already we have seen fluorescence occurred when there is a transition of molecule from excited singlet to ground singlet, and phosphorescence is a transition from excited triplet to ground singlet. Now in this case, delayed fluorescence, here the emission is taking place by the transition of molecule from excited singlet to ground singlet, but it will take comparative instantaneous fluorescence. It takes more time. That's the difference. There are two types of delayed fluorescence. One is E-type delayed fluorescence and P-type delayed fluorescence. The first one is E-type delayed fluorescence. So as you can see in this diagram, the molecules like dye, in which energy gap between singlet and triplet energy is fairly small. So normally E-type delayed fluorescence will be seen in the molecule, in especially dye molecule, where the energies of excited singlets and excited triplet energy gap, that is delta EST, is fairly small. Such will show E-type delayed fluorescence. So here the molecule is initially excited from ground S0 to singlet energy level S1. Later it undergoes crossover triplet level, means it will move from singlet S1 to triplet T1 by intersystem crossing mechanism. As already we said, here delta EST is very small, so by vibrational relaxation some molecule again promoted with the help of thermal energy by surrounding and to isoenergetic point and cross back to the first excited singlet. Means the molecule which is transferred in triplet state, it once again come back in a excited singlet by using thermal energy and vibration energy. So once it came back to its singlet excited state S1, then there is a subsequent return to a ground state by radiative process. Means once these excited singlet molecule comes to a ground state with the emission of radiation, the process will be from S1 to S0. This radiation process is called E-type delayed fluorescence. Energy of quanta of prompt fluorescence, phosphorescence and delayed fluorescence are h nu f, h nu p and h nu ed. Ed stands for E-type delayed fluorescence respectively. Although h nu f is equal to h nu ed, but the lifetime of delayed fluorescence will match the lifetime of triplet decay. The rate constant for KED, that is rate constant of E-type delayed fluorescence, is a temperature dependent. Thus it is expressed as shown in the first equation, that is KED equal to A e raised to minus delta EST upon RT, where A is a frequency factor, delta EST is the activation energy, that is the energy difference between singlet and triplet state. The ratio of quantum yield phi p to phi ed of phosphorescence and E-type delayed fluorescence is deduced as, if phi t is a quantum yield of triplet formation, then phi p is equal to phi t into Kp upon Kp plus Kisct plus Ked as shown in the second equation. The thermal excitation to S1 state, that is excitation from triplet T1 to singlet S1, the state fluorescence occur with usual fluorescence efficiency phi f. Therefore, efficiency of delayed fluorescence is given by this next equation, that is phi ed equal to phi t into phi f into Ked upon Kp plus Kisc plus Ked. In this slide, this is the third equation. Second equation is with respect to phi p. Now that divide this third equation by second equation, that is phi ed upon phi p, and if we solve, we get this last fourth equation. The ratio of intensity of two bands in delayed emission spectrum is independent on phi t, that is quantum yield of triplet formation, the second triplet quenching process. The second type of delayed fluorescence is P-type delayed fluorescence. It is first observed in pyrene and phenanthroline solution, so it is called P-type. An aromatic or hydrocarbon, the energy splitting of singlet and triplet is very large, so it do not show E-type of delayed fluorescence. Thus, at the room temperature, it is impossible to excite a molecule in a singlet state from triplet. So that means P-type delayed fluorescence is generally observed in aromatic hydrocarbons. Parker and Hatchard observed that the intensity of emission of delayed fluorescence, that is IPD, PD indicates P-type of delayed fluorescence, is proportional to square of intensity of absorption of excited light, that is IPD proportional to IA square as shown in first equation. So quantum yield of P-type delayed fluorescence is rate of emission upon rate of absorption, which is equal to IA. Thus, P-type delayed fluorescence has a linear dependency on intensity of absorption IA. This law also says that two photons act of delayed emission, and hence it is also known as biphotonic process. Here, two triplet molecule encounter, that is collides each other and gives intermediate species X, which subsequently dissociates into excited S1 state and ground singlet state S0 of the molecule. So that means in this particular P-type delayed fluorescence, two triplet states collide each other, and on collision there is a formation of one excited singlet state S1 and another ground singlet state S0. This excited singlet molecule finally relaxed with the emission of radiation, and this is called P-type. Following are the various steps involved in emission process. That is singlet S naught excited to singlet undergoes again transmission into triplet. Triplet comes into S naught and so on. So these all are different processes which are occurred during this emission. So here summation of KT is the sum of all first order process which produces triplet. As at low intensity triplet interaction is less probable than the first order decay. Under steady state condition, IA Qt equal to summation of Kt into tau, which is equal to 1 upon tau t into t. Actually steady state principle, it is one of the basic principle. It says that the total quantity of intermediate form is equal to total quantity of intermediate decay. It is just like a conservation of intermediates, and during this process singlet and triplets are the intermediates. So during photochemical processes singlets and triplets are intermediate. So the total triplet is formed equal to total triplet consumed. That is the conservation of intermediates like triplet and singlet. Using this law we get this first equation where tau t is a lifetime of triplet. If intermediate X, which is formed after colliding two triplet, its dissociation is very fast, then the rate controlling step is the formation of X by triplet inhalation process. Thus intensity of p-type delayed emission, that is IPD, is given by that second equation. Since quantum yield of p-type delayed process is equal to IPD upon IA, that is intensity of p-type delayed divided by IA, so we get this equation as it is shown in the slide, that is phi PD upon phi F equal to 1 upon 2 IA Qt to t raised to square kx in a bracket ks upon ks plus kr. During triplet inhalation process, energy gets transferred from one triplet to another and forms excited dimeric species S2 star. So as you can see in the first equation on this particular slide, two triplets combines undergoes inhalation process, means collision took place, and there is a formation of excited dimeric species denoted by S2 dash, which dissociate into excited and ground singlet state S1 and S0. So now the formation of excited and ground state singlet from two triplet is a spin allowed exchange as shown in the next equation. The decay constant is determined by using triplet state lifetime, that is lifetime of p-type delayed equal to lifetime of p-type divided by 2, which is equal to T of P upon 2. The intensity of p-type delayed fluorescence decreases with viscosity of the medium. So this is the information related to p-type delayed fluorescence. So today we have learned state diagram by considering biacetyl as an example, delayed fluorescence, p-type and e-type delayed fluorescence. Thank you.